Hey folks, I'm Alex Story with Skill Mammoth Digital, and today is episode 26 of me building my agency in public. What this series really is just me doing kind of a self-video journal, just to make sure I am held accountable to myself and, getting in the exercise of asking and answering questions that are very crucial to how my business runs and operates. But if you're following along, you can get the behind the scenes look at how an agency grows, what the day-to-day is like, and hopefully learn from my mistakes. But also if you want to celebrate with me on my wins too, you can do that as well. And you can follow along. If you're growing your business, you can go through the exercise that I do every single day. And what that exercise is asking and answering 4 simple questions. The first one being, how much money did I make in the last 30 days? That's revenue. The second question is, what am I doing to get more of it? AKA, what's the sales motion that I'm doing? The third thing that I'm doing is asking, how am I keeping it? What are we doing for fulfillment and client success? And lastly, what are we doing to fix inside the business? That strategy, right? So those 4 questions every single day. So just jumping right into it. The last 30 days, we've made $39,642, going down mainly because no new sales, right? So that's just going to happen. My floor is around 13K if I don't make any new sales this month, which would suck. So I'm trying to keep this high, right? I would love to have another 40K month. I'm trending to be around 23K just on, historical forecasting, but we'll see what happens. All right. Anyway, what are we doing to get more sales, right? So let's talk about this. So cold is still eluding me, right? I'm not getting the book rate that I want. I'm getting regular positives, at least 1 to 5 positives a day for the cold email I'm sending, and I'm sending a lot, usually 752. I have the capacity to send more, but I'm just waiting for some of these inboxes to warm up a little bit more before I start sending. And I could bump it up to, we're doing 15 emails per day per inbox. I could do like 20 or 25. That might make up for my horrible book rate. But yeah, we're down to 7% of positive replies booking to actual meetings. And obviously I'd love that to be higher, right? Because that's where a lot of the money is, right? If I can get that to 20%, 30%, 40%, suddenly I have a filled calendar. But warm is doing fine, right? Networking referrals is doing its thing. So I'll kind of talk through, how that's working for me. So we've got 3 new kind of like warm channel things that are popping up. So I got 2 meetings booked from warm. So one is with an electrician franchisee that's blocked for Monday. And then a commercial real estate guy is blocked for sometime next week. It was going to be Friday, but he can't make it. So we're just noodling around times for next week. I have a client in the commercial real estate space, so I think that'll be helpful. I don't have an electrician client yet. I do have like a half-built website for one that just backed out last minute, and I've got plenty of case studies for adjacent trades, so I think that'll be fine. But I don't know if this franchisee will actually, buy, obviously, because he doesn't have control of the marketing budget. But this could be a longer play for me. Like if I build this relationship and I give him some value, that might bubble up to him kind of working with his franchise corporate location. And, if I can manage the marketing spend for, like 10, 20, 30 locations, that's a sizable whale. So, it's something that I'll take. And then I might spin up something that he can do on his own too. There's plenty of automation he can do without, having control over like, the DNS provider, the website, those kind of things. So I might come prepared with some options that an electrician could use, even if he doesn't have control over the website. The chiropractor is in the middle here. That's a pretty big whale as well. So this is another franchise location. They had asked me about their ads last week, and because I'm honest, and they gave me their numbers, I don't think ads would work for them. They bill $99 a month, and their retention is only like 4 to 6 months right now. So like a cost of acquisition would have to be like less than like 400 in a very competitive space. And that's including, the management fee, not just the ad spend, right? So I was like, hey, you know what? You got to get your retention up higher. So I told him like I pitched him on an email reactivation and like some email nurturing to get some, win back and whatnot. And I also just maybe some basic offer tips. I don't know how much control he has on his offers, but he should really, read that book behind me, the Money Models book, and just do some like prepays, right? Some like 10% off if you buy the full year in full. That was a little bit redundant, but you get it. Or like do some sort of bonus, like, hey man, you can bring your spouse in once a quarter if you get the yearly plan or something, because yeah, that's not, that business model is tough. If you're getting $400 per client before fulfillment, um, that leaves like no margin for any marketing really. So anyway, I'm just yapping too much about this chiropractor. Cool. And then yeah, a higher leverage follow up. So I did have a meeting on Monday with somebody who was interested in a website. They haven't responded to the proposal or anything. I wanted to book a meeting from the meeting, but I had to end the call early because I had a meeting right after. And maybe in the future, if I'm feeling hot, maybe I should just stay on the meeting and just ask for forgiveness on the next call. So now we're in this awkward thing where I'm trying to get them on another meeting to close them on this deal. So what I ended up doing is I sent him a Loom video, right? I built I basically built his full website, kind of like a Hail Mary, just to show him what it would look like. Because if he doesn't buy, it's going to suck because I just wasted all that time. But I sent a Loom video, and hopefully that entices him to be like, whoa, that was cool. You built it in a really small amount of time. Obviously I want to work with you because you're spending all this time on me, right? That law of reciprocity. So we'll see what happens. It's a $3K, one time, and then $700 a month retainer if he ends up buying and getting the SEO package. So anyway, so what am I doing to keep my business? Right. So, we're still, oh yeah, nothing meaningful today. Yeah. Fires came up faster than I closed tasks. I had one client that, just, a lawn care client, they're getting ready for, winter, in a couple months. So they just were looking at their contract pages. So I had to update that. And then I had one client yesterday who deleted his, name servers on accident. So that was kind of stressful because his whole website came down and affected his email too. So I had to bring in their IT company to help me out because I'm like, listen, man, this is not related to me. So let's get this fixed. And then I did offboard a client too. So, that's off the plate for good. No more management. They pay one more fee this month and then they're gone. So that'll be my first ever churned client. So sad. All right. 4, what am I doing for strategy? So, I talked to this guy today, for white label work, which is very interesting. I jumped on the call and it was just like a typical like one-to-one, but then he got a little sales. He's like, yeah, we're looking for partners. Does this sound like good to you? And I get it. I respect the hustle. And honestly, I could use it, right? I am my biggest, I would say, bottleneck right now is I can't focus as much on lead gen as I want to, because I'm doing so much fulfillment. And so a white label partner would be helpful. But, because, I've already spent a lot of money on growth these last couple of weeks, I don't know if I have enough money to trial somebody, but if I sell something, I think for new sales, I think I might just bring him on just to test it out, right? Because it'd be nice to be like, cool, yeah, I sold it. Here you go. Can you fulfill on it? And then I take the cut, and then I just keep on focusing on lead gen. So I think if a new sale comes on, I'll bring him on because that is pretty enticing. Also a new feature. So this came out of nowhere. So I was watching a video today or yesterday. I typically throw on like business guru videos when I'm driving, and this particular video was one of the guys from Stone Systems talking about how he does 500K a month, and one of the features that they put on their website, which I know is like a go high level plugin thing, is a missed call text back, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a genius thing to add to my stack. Cause like that's my whole bill is like these websites that we build, they're not just beautiful and they work for you. They come preloaded with a lot of these core automations that folks in the trades can use to make more money, right? So I was like, let me just make that real quick. So I built that feature today for Skill Mammoth just to test it out on ourselves. Now I can do it, and I'm going to add it, and I think I'm going to charge more for my website. So I think I'll just, because of the number cost and whatnot, I think I'm going to go from $299 to like $345 a month. And I think that's a really, really cool feature. So missed call text back. So anyway, GHL has it kind of built in, but GHL websites look kind of ugly, and they also are kind of sucked into that CRM. Whereas like, now I can build a website with Claude Code or whatever. And, I've got the infrastructure to build that in whatever way I want with whatever edge functions I want, without having to stick to go high level. And I think that's going to be my edge you know, the sheer customization of it versus like these templated GHL things. Anyway, demoralizing sales day. Oh yeah, one last thing. Let's do this quick exercise. So I had Claude audit my last 30 days because, you know, I keep on talking about the like me having fulfillment issues. You know what? I'll just do this as a separate video, right? You know, you can check a separate video where I just go over this because this video is getting a little long. But I'll talk about this Claude audit and we can kind of build that together. So bye for now.